you were concerned about the New York Rangers, tonight definitely would be reason for concern. So the Rangers' first 3 games, really good versus Buffalo, not so good versus Columbus, but at least there was a lot of offensive opportunity, and I would say just defensively things were sloppy. Third game against Arizona, the home opener, solid, not bad, not great, good enough for the win. Tonight, absolutely awful. Home against Nashville, who had been struggling, and that was my one concern, was they were coming off a 6-1 loss to Edmonton. That's always a concern for me. When you have a team coming off a bad loss, you got to be ready, like extra ready. And the Rangers were not. They were just slow to everything, not cohesive, bad decision-making, just bad all the way around. It never felt like they had a chance. And this Nashville team is not a particularly good team in my estimation. We'll see where they end up in a Western Conference that, to me, is weaker than the East, right? So Nashville, they could be on that borderline of playoffs, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, Peter Laviolette's got to be very, very frustrated with this output. And again, see, this is what I go back to. Rangers have gone through coach after coach. Let's just use the last 3, including Laviolette. We won't include Vigneault, but we could. In terms of this era of Rangers, David Quinn, Gerard Gallant, now Peter Laviolette. It doesn't matter. It's the core of the team that is the problem. That is where it is. It's the roster. And that was the thing. Going from Gallant to Laviolette, may that help? It might. I really do like what I've seen from Laviolette. The things he said, the approach, I think that he knows what he's doing. Will my opinion change over time? Very, very well possible. But hey, first year of Gerard Gallant, that was a very successful Rangers season. Was it disappointing the way they went out against Tampa? Absolutely. It was. But that was a very successful season. So as much as Gallant getting fired, it wasn't a surprise. You could still argue he got a bit of a raw deal. The bigger problem, I said when he was fired, was the team. That's the issue. It's the way that they play. And it's a combination of, A, you're depending on veterans that are getting older, certainly. And also you have young players that are not taking it to the next step. Now, look, it's game 4, so I'm not going to go crazy. But I come away with this as if you were someone that, doesn't feel so great about this Ranger team, tonight's your night. Because everything you saw is exactly why you should be concerned. And to me, it'd be one thing if you know what? They're learning the system. It's a systematic issue. I didn't see that. I saw a lack of just about everything, and really compete level. Compete level wasn't there. I don't know what it is. I don't know why this team thinks that they're better than that. You know what? Whatever. We're going to go east-west. We're going to try to do fancy things. We're going to overpass. I just don't know when they'll learn that that's not how you're going to win games. And Nashville beat them to every pop. The neutral zone was dominated by the Predators. What I was so impressed by in that Sabre game, Rangers controlled that. The middle of the ice was all Rangers in that first game against Buffalo. And that's the thing. You know that they have it in them. We've seen that over the last years. It's not like they're incapable, but their go-to is this just style of play that is not conducive to winning hockey games, and really winning hockey games in the playoffs as well. It's not going to be what's going to get it done. So I'm going to try not to single anyone out individually as we go through. I'm sure I will, but it's not even, I don't want to make it about that. It's a team thing. And I just think that the Rangers, going on a road trip for a couple of weeks, right? Well, I guess a week and a half maybe. 5-game road trip, Western Conference road trip. So kind of a getaway day, if you will. You just think about those things. And I'm wondering if that's what they were thinking. All right, here we go. We just won the home opener. Going to play a Nashville team that's beatable. We're at home. And I don't think that they really I think it's a lack of effort and it's just a style of play. And that's what leads you to this. So don't want to go too crazy, but this was bad. This was a really, really bad game. And so now they're 2-2. They've been inconsistent. We've seen the first game where it was about as good as they could possibly play, a really, really just strong all-around game. And then you have tonight. The Rangers go to extremes. That's just what they do. Like, they can tease you and make you think, like, all right, like, here we go. Like, this is a team that can really, really do some damage. Then they remind you what they are, which is completely inconsistent. And in all facets of the game, I mean, everywhere tonight, you want to go power play, you want to go penalty kill, even strength, just turnovers, giving them big time opportunities. I'm not going to blame Igor Shesterkin for this one, who was pulled. Igor was pulled in this game in the second period after it was 4-0. So Jonathan Quick made his Ranger debut. That was probably the one good thing that came out of this game was Quick, made all 9 saves. I'm concerned about him. He will get at least one start in that 5-game road trip. So at least for him to get his feet wet and to actually look okay doing it was probably the only real positive that came out of this game. So Rangers, again, start out slow and end slow. Like, this was not a time, I can't tell you in this game where it's like, oh yeah, like this was a good stretch. No. To me, that never happened. So it starts out with a penalty on Adam Fox where he does hook Yakov Trenin at 6:16, but that was kind of after Trenin took him down. It probably should have been coincidental minors, but I understand what the ref saw. And the Rangers do kill off that power play. But then at 11:24, it's a goal by Cole Smith. Cole Smith scored 2 goals on the night. He scored the first and second goal of the game for Nashville. And I believe he's a depth player for the Predators. So this was only his 6th goal of his career. I got to imagine this was his first multi-goal game. Yeah, it was called from McCarron and Barry. And this was a bad turnover by Hedl. He couldn't get it out of the zone. And I think blame goes to him there. And for Philip Hedl, haven't loved his game the first 4 games. He's someone that out of the young players, I definitely feel like I think that there's a lot of potential with Philip Hedl, but so far not great. And then it was a situation where Shesterkin, there was a lot of traffic in front. Not sure if we see it. It might have been deflective, and Smith bangs in the rebound easy. And Schneider's in front there, Gustafsson as well. So that pair was on. Again, I'm really down on Braden Schneider, but also didn't think Gustafsson had a great game tonight. Either way, Predators make it 1-0 there. Then the Rangers get their first power play at 14:16. Cole Smith interferes with Adam Fox. What happens at the end of this power play is terrible by Keandre Miller. So Shesterkin's banging his stick. Keandre's got to have some sense that the Predator player is coming out of the box. So it's twofold. Keandre makes a pass to Gustafsson at the point, and it hops over Gustafsson's stick. So you'd like Gustafsson to keep that in front of him, but I'm not going to put that blame on Gustafsson. To me, it's Keandre Miller. And I know I said I wouldn't go individual, but I'm going through it kind of naturally here. And Keandre, I want to see more from him. This is a player that's capable of a lot, and I just feel like I'm not seeing improvement from Miller. I'm seeing a lot of mistakes. This was a dumb decision. You got to not put it in the center of the ice. It ends up going on the tape of Cole Smith for an easy breakaway. Like, you can't do that. You got to wrap that around the board. You got to just take the safe play. And I could see it happening. And Keandre looked like you just got to be smarter. That's not a wise play. He is a turnover machine, and so Smith goes down the other way, breakaway, right out of the penalty box, and a goal. Wrist shot past Shesterkin makes it 2-0 Preds at 16:22 of the first, and it was 2-0 Nashville at the end of 1. Predators outshot the Rangers 8-5 in the first period. Let's jump to the second. And as far as like line changes and switches, also I should mention that Jimmy Vesey was back in the lineup, Tyler Pitlick out. So they've been going back and forth with that. I thought maybe, and I think eventually this will happen, that they would include other players for the healthy scratch. It's just been those two, and I guess maybe they should. This is a joke, but Tyler Pitlick, they're 2-0 with him in the lineup, and with Jimmy Vesey, they're 0-2. So maybe you got to get Pitlick in there because when he's in there, they're undefeated. But seriously. I would start including other players as healthy scratches, but that seems to be the thing where they're alternating those two for now. So second period rolls around. Rangers take a penalty. It's Adam Fox again with a hooking penalty of Philip Forsberg. And I've noticed a lot more Adam Fox penalties. And he did a really good job. He's done a really good job for the amount of ice time he gets of really drawing. I have to think he draws way more penalties than he takes. But this year, he's been in the box a bit. And he takes a hooking penalty, and the Predators do score. And it's a goal by the former St. Louis Blue, Ryan O'Reilly, his second goal of the season. And that gives the Predators a 3-0 lead. So, Rangers are in trouble at this point. And that's the thing, too, I've noticed is the Rangers, when they trail, they have trouble coming. I mean, again, small sample size, but the Buffalo game, they had to lead the whole time. The Coyote game, they never trailed. It was tied for a good amount, but they never trailed. Columbus, once they trailed, it got worse and worse and worse. And that kind of happened here as well. So it's 3-0 Nashville. Then at 13-16, just a dumb penalty by Artemi Panarin. High sticking Kiefer Sherwood. Just no sense in doing that. Again, I think Panarin's been one of their better skaters, but his style of play is such that other players gravitate. Like, Panarin is unique in the way he plays, but I feel like it rubs off the other players, and that's not good. Like, it just naturally does. But either way, a bad penalty by Artemi, and Nashville scores on it. A slap shot goal by Philip Forsberg, his first goal of the season from Tyson Barrie and Roman Josi, gives Nashville a 4-0 lead. Igor is pulled at that point. And then the Rangers do get a 5-on-3. So the Rangers' one goal in this game was a 5-on-3. Parsonen trips Gustafsson at 18-19, and then O'Reilly trips Fox at 18-45. And the Rangers do score on that 5-on-3 power play. At 19-18 of the second, Fox scores his first of the season from Zibanejad and Panarin. So this was a goal that Fox shoots in off of former Ranger captain Ryan McDonough, who was down on the ice. Kind of an unfortunate bounce for Nashville as it goes past UC Saros, who really wasn't tested tonight. And so that makes it 4-1. That would be the score at the end of 2. That would be your final score as well. I should mention that Chris Kreider's goal streak comes to an end. Didn't really hear much from him tonight. In the third period, the Rangers, so you have the remainder of that power play, the 5-on-4, part of the second and part of the third. They don't score there. And then Dante Fabro hooks Zibanejad at 3:28, and Panarin hits the crossbar. So maybe if that goes in, it's 4-2, who knows. And then with 8 minutes left, it's another offside no goal for the Rangers. It looked like Trocheck had scored, but he was actually offside. So now that's 3 times. We saw it twice in the Columbus game and then once here. And then at 1946, at the end of the game, Trouba hooks Nyquist, and the Predators win it 4-1. Cole Smith a couple of goals. Again, Saros was good, but really wasn't tested. As far as the ice times, what stands out to me is Lafreniere only playing 12:45 is interesting. Also, Hedl only 12:27. Part of that was there were a lot of, a heavy amount of power play one. But those guys really weren't that good. Again, that first goal against was them. The second goal against, that wasn't their fault. They just happened to be on. Because they're a -2, but the first goal, certainly in the case of Hedl. So, with Blake Wheeler, I just don't see anything. Personally, I don't see anything from Blake Wheeler. I like what I continue to say, I like what Will Cooley has provided. But yeah, this was disappointing all the way around. So now the Rangers head west, and hopefully this will be a good road trip, a 5-game road trip. They will first take on the Seattle Kraken, who right now, they are 0-3-1, but they are beating Carolina 4-1 at home right now, which I think is a good thing for many reasons. But Seattle, don't let that record fool you. That's a more than decent team that won't be easy to beat. So you got the Kraken, and then on Saturday, and then next week, 3 games in Western Canada. Tuesday at Calgary, who is 2-1-1. Then you're at Edmonton, who's off to a slow start at 1-3. And then Saturday at Vancouver, 2-2. And then next Monday, they take on the Winnipeg Jets. So that'll be a homecoming for Blake Wheeler. They're also off to a slow 1-3 start. So again, a lot of winnable games here. And the Rangers in years past have been a pretty quality road team. So I'm hoping for good things on this road trip. And I think Peter Laviolette will definitely have a lot to say. And I really hope that, come Saturday night versus Seattle, this looks like a different team. Because tonight was completely unacceptable. If you went to this game, I feel bad for you. That you did not get your money's worth. This was a complete dud of a game where they gave you absolutely nothing. So the Rangers completely outplayed. That is just unacceptable, and they're going to have to really work on a lot of things. So Rangers sit at 2-2. It's been an up and down start, and now they will. The rest of the month, they will be away from MSG, returning in the beginning of November. So, again, Rangers lose to the Nashville Predators by a score of 4-1.